Sponsored by... Stop before you dig. Call Digger's Hotline first. Call 3 business days before you dig. It's the law. It's completely free and it's for your safety. Know what's below before you dig. It's your responsibility. Call Digger's Hotline or visit them at diggershotline.com. So this is our aca bed, not to be confused with okra. Aca, O-C-A. These are a root tuber that came from cultivariables.com up the Pacific Northwest. It originated from the Andes Mountains in South America, very similar to the area where the yacons are from. What a aca is a tuber in which it develops very late in the year. Potatoes, they're similar to potatoes because they grow underground and they have top growth, and if the Europeans back in the day would have brought the acas back to Europe first, the acas would be as popular or more popular than what conventional day potatoes are now. You plant these in the spring after the frost is over, just like you would a tomato or a potato. They develop, they have top growth, about 16 to 24 inches high, and you let them set until very late in the year. They start developing, or they start really getting into their growth or developmental stage when the days begin to get shorter. And we've got 14 of them here, and they want to be on a 1 foot center or 1 foot spacing. I've got a 16-inch bed here, and I've got two. I put on about 6-inch, 7-inch spacing because of the space that was limited. So we're going to see what how they grow. Now this is not a crop that's really designed for zone 5A. It's more of a warm weather crop from what I understand, but it does very well here. They're getting accustomed to our environment. So you plant them in the spring after the frost is over, plant about 4 inches deep. They do prefer, if you have the availability, a little more of acidic soil than just traditional ground, traditional native soil, but we didn't do anything to this bed and it worked just fine. So what we have here is a number of tubers, and I'll show you them in a moment. But they have a lemon flavor to them. You can eat the top foliage of them, and you'll see what they look like. They are really, we've done nothing to this bed. They're the easiest crop to grow. We did have 30 days longer of grow season than normally we do. But if that's the case and you want to get a little more length out of them, just cover them with plastic, and that's what we did with these hoops here. That being said, at a certain point you want the frost to kill them. Then you get the plants to die back, and it looks like this. And you can eat the top growth during the growing season and use it in stir fries. But you know, the more you cut back, the less photosynthesis and all that stuff that allows the tubers to develop. So you want to let them get exposed to frost. You want the frost to kill them. Or if you don't cover them all, the frost will kill them, and you don't want to immediately dig them up because they develop after the top growth has died. Certain people have indicated that after a good hard frost, the tubers will develop, they'll double in size in the first night. So you want to keep that in mind. So even though it's an unusual crop to grow, we've been able to grow them here successfully, and we'll show what they look like here in Zone 5A. They've grown, successful all over the world. And once you have grown them, you can save them, the tubers, you can save the larger tubers in sand, like we do with the yacon rhizomes, and then bring them back out in the spring, chit them, like we do the potatoes, plant them, unlike we did it a little different this year, in which we took the tuber, chitted them, and then divided them like a potato, planted them in starter cups, and then brought them out as a small seed plant start. You don't have to do that. We shouldn't have done that. We didn't have to. That didn't hurt anything, but we could have just planted them 4 inches deep and in the bed here and been done with it. So we're going to harvest these and see what what our volume is or yield is. A couple different varieties here, again from cultivariable.com, and they have a lemony taste. Now you can put these in soups and stews, substitute potatoes for them. one of the easiest crops that you can grow. We planted them, walked away, they're disease free, they don't have any issues with bugs, they take care of themselves. Really, really an interesting and nice crop to grow. And the taste of them, I just eat them raw, like you're going to eat a potato raw too, but you do your research whether or not you want to eat these raw or not. They have a tangy taste to them. I find it very refreshing, kind of like a potato and an orange, kind of a mated type of thing. So that's my take on it, but everybody's different. So I'm going to remove the metal rings here, and then we're going to start digging these up and see what we get. Okay, so based on the amount of top growth you have, you can just, we'll pull it out first and then cut it back. Oh, look at that. Beautiful colors on these. Let's see if I can get, there we go. Kind of slimy, spongy tops here. Okay, that's compost material. Then I'll go through with the fork and see what else I can find. But we've got very nice tubers here. And like that one we could save and shit in the spring. But we'll wash these off, shake the dirt off, pull them off. Even the small ones, you want to get them all out. Even the tiny little ones like this, just on the off chance that they'll sprout. You really don't want to leave them in the ground. You want to try to get them all out, and so they don't come back again next spring, because you might want to put them in a different place. So I'm going to dig these up and see what we end up getting with our total yield. Okay, so I got the bed all dug up. I got a good chunk of tubers. I'm going to sort out the dirt and the tubers, and we'll see poundage-wise what we get and what ones we want to save. All right, so we got, I think it was a total of 15 or 16 plants, and we got a little over 3¼ pounds, almost 3½ pounds. Now, if I count in the quarter of a pound, 4 ounces, from the other day when I did a sample dig, that would push us at about 3 pounds, 10 ounces, which is very, very good in my, from what I've seen, especially being here in Zone 5A. Now, you'll see people dig these up, and the tubers will be 4 inches long, or approximately 10 centimeters long, and because they're in a different climate. Now, with ours here, we do have some red ones that are much larger than the white ones, and there's some white ones that are, well, I'll go through and I'll go through and I'll find the larger ones and save those. The red ones seem to be the better sized tubers when it comes to development. The red ones seem to be much larger overall versus the smaller, the white ones or the yellow ones here. And you can see that's kind of like, if you start chitting, that's where the growth will come from. There'll come growth there. But I'll go through them. So very successful, but they do take a very, very long time to grow. So keep that in mind. If you're in a very, very short growing season, this may not be the crop for you. But for most of us, this will work very well. And again, from cultivariable.com.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.